Hey everybody, happy Thursday afternoon. Yes, it is take two. We're just going to see how our technology works now. As I said earlier on, for those of you who were listening, and that we are 10 weeks out from conference. We are doing all things conference at the moment. Very, very excited. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So you do not want to miss out. If you haven't got your conference ticket yet, make sure that you're jumping onto the link and that you are getting it. Again, apologies for the little bit of a croaky voice here. But we've got the awesome James Evenden who's going to be joining us any second now, I know. And hey Tess, how are you going? To be able to share some of his wisdom. But while I'm just waiting for James to get on here, again, reminder too about the Simon Chan Luncheon Challenge. It's going to be really exciting. It's going to be an awesome event, and Simon, of course, is going to be sharing from the main stage. But on top of that, there's the opportunity to be able to have lunch. Now, some of you, I know when we put the names of the people who are on track, didn't actually even realize. So make sure you're going back and you're having a little look to see, are you doing what it takes to get invited to the luncheon? You don't want to miss out. As I said, great wisdom coming from main stage, but why not get the opportunity to be able to come along and join us for lunch and get to hear Simon share a few of his little insider secrets as well that are going to be just for those of you who qualify. So have a little look. Don't miss out. And you just never know. We might actually, in fact, you know what? Why don't we do it now? I'm going to actually, we'll make another little bit of a live later on, but we're going to count April as a double up month. Okay, so there you go. There's a double up month. So if you were thinking, oh my gosh, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. Well, you do it in April. You qualify in April. There's a double up month for you. So there you go. You heard it here first. We will go and we'll do something else. Let's have a little look to say hi to everybody. Hey Tess. Hey Tracy. How's it going? Let me have a little look here to see where is my beautiful James. I know he's got the phone all charged up and he is ready to rock and roll. Just can't see him at the moment. I'm just going to try and see if I can add him on here. Technology is amazing when it works, and sometimes it doesn't work. So I'm just going to invite James here, and hopefully that's how we're going to do. Hey Michelle, I can see Michelle on here now. Say hi when you come on, team, so I can just say g'day to you. As we go, yep, lots of people starting to join us. So anyhow, I hope your Thursday afternoon is good wherever you might be in the world, and that we're driving along in the car because we're getting all sorts of things sorted for conference, and that, as I said, only 10 weeks out. Okay, let's have a little look here. How are we going? Some more people joining us. Let's have a look. Where's James? Okay. We might be going to have a little problem today. Maybe technology. Oh, hang on. Yay. James is, here we go. We've got adding as we speak. It's going to keep adding. Okay. Come on, James. Let's go to connecting. Oh, yay. Boom, yeah.
Boom.
Look at this. We got this sorted, mate.
Hey, if I can do this, my goodness, anyone can, I reckon.
And that's, hey, there's your first lesson. There's your first tip. If you can do it, anyone can do it. That's it. I love
that is one.
It's a really good one, because that's the thing. We have to, sometimes I think we have to be special to be good at this business. But hey, we're just ordinary folk doing extraordinary things. Isn't that it, mate?
That is dead right. I don't even know. This is a brand new phone. First time used. I don't even know where the camera is. I don't even know where I'm looking.
You're doing all right. Yeah, there you are.
Am I looking at the camera now?
You are looking at the camera
Good.
now. There you go. All right, so now you know where you're going, which is really cool. Well, James, I start each of these calls with just asking you to share, first of all, how long have you been in Juice Plus, and how long have you been a National Marketing Director? Because every story is different, and it's great for people to hear all these different stories.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Juice Plus was first introduced to us probably about 11 or 12 years ago. That was that's a long time, and it first came into our realm purely through health, and
yep.
I was and had been for a long time on a health, just a journey. Not that I was ill, not that I was crook. I just knew that there was a bigger world out there, and that health was such a big part of that. I had been a bit of a weirdo young guy in my first house with my buddies. I remember I had a juicer, and they thought I was dead set weird. But on Sunday morning hangover, I'd make like a beautiful power juice, and they would go, "No, it's not bad. I feel a bit better." So it's funny. I'd always looked for it, looked for help. It was hard to find because this is days before sort of the internet. And when it came along, it was like, wow, this is something else. So it was
Awesome.
it was a simple thing to start taking and bringing into our life.
Yeah, awesome. And so from the point of view then, you guys kind of, and for those of you who don't know, James is married to Linda, and Linda kind of, embraced this business first, and you had a very, very successful career for quite a long time. But you made a shift a few years ago where it was kind of like, it wasn't just maybe something that Linda was doing, but this is something that you started to do together. And then there was that possibility of actually maybe this could be something more. So over that journey, how long did it take for you to decide that actually, this could be something for me as well?
Yeah, probably way too long. Right? And I say that a little tongue in cheek, but
Yeah.
in hindsight, I now know and see. I know what blocks I had, and I know what stories to an extent I was running, and what I was doing was serving me. I had been really quite obsessed by making money and my career, and despite sort of getting an awareness that was taking a toll, I still ignored that.
Yes.
And it was twofold. Just plus, I was able to introduce people and say, hey, wow, health, got this great thing, speak to my wife. And I was passionate about that, and that was easy, right? That was an easy thing for me to talk to people about health. But the business and really taking this on board as a business, it wasn't until I had a real shake-up in my career, and I got a real ground zero lesson that I didn't control, the ride I was on. I didn't control, the industry. Certainly I was in investments and real estate. I didn't control, the company. I didn't control my income.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I had, bottom line, I had my bonuses cut and commissions changed, and was told, and in 1 minute I realised I was not going to be able to make what I had been making. And I had always thought, well, the more I work and the harder, the more productivity, the more I'll get paid. And I got taken back about 30 to 40%. Like bang.
Wow.
It's like, bang. Whoa. It was it was the brick. And it was no coincidence, if you will, that within 2 weeks of that, we were in Nashville for Linda's 100 Club. And I was looking around thinking, wow, you've been a mug, mate. Like, these people love what they do. and if my highest value was, in terms of success, was making money, well, there was very wealthy people in that room.
Yeah.
We hung out and spent some time with Jeff Roberti afterwards. I got to see his, some of his wealth. And he was not showy with it. He's a very private guy. It wasn't, hey, look at all this stuff. But to see what I aspired for done in such a humble way, with such a big mission, and in such a more, controllable way than what I'd hitched my wagon to, was like, oh man, all right.
No.
That
That's
came
awesome.
in pretty hard.
And one of the things, I want to actually kind of go back to a couple of things there that you've actually brought to the table as lessons already. So often when I'm chit-chatting or coaching to people and they just don't get why their partner doesn't get it, here's a perfect example of, it doesn't matter how long that might take. Everybody's on their own journey, and just because you get it doesn't mean that your partner's going to get it straight away. It may actually, for sometimes it actually takes a little bit of a while to build belief in this, especially in our business model. And, I know I can speak from personal experience. Like, Mick thought I was crazy in the early days, kind of thing. Wasn't quite sure what I was on and why I would get excited about, the type of business and industry that we were in. So for those of you who are kind of trying to drag your partners over the line, sometimes it's just about allowing them to be on their own journey and get to be able to see what it is. And whether they come along just from the point of view of supporting you, that can sometimes be the best support. Having that person who, understands, might not want to take part, but understands and is supporting you that way. or may actually come on the journey. And sometimes we see husbands and wives who get it straight away and they think, that should be mine. You know what? Honestly, everybody's going to be different. And James is a perfect example of when the time was right, the time was right. You know, again, you had that aha moment that then sealed your fate, so to speak, that, okay, this could be a journey. So you kind of, you embraced it, you saw it in a different light. You've always been an amazing support for Linda anyhow, so that was never in doubt, but now you saw a picture for yourself. So over this journey, what have been some of the lessons then that you've kind of learned as you've been taking the step forward for yourself?
All right. Yeah, I mean, you know, and there's so many. I just want to add to one thing, what you were saying there. You know, could Linda have got me to the table faster? Probably not. You know, it was about my realization, but the one thing that she did, and the one thing that was undeniable, was she was having fun. They were having fun.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And
yep.
If you are trying to get a partner on board and you're a drag or a nag, whether you're a guy or a girl, or poor me, or whatever it is, you are not going to get across the line with it. Be fun. Have fun. Oh, you know, I just never forget Adam, Linda, Lauren, Barry, they went to Vegas. I'm like, what? They're in Vegas. I'm not in Vegas. What am I like? Dude, who have you become? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Right? When did I get so serious, and why did I decide to miss out on so much fun in life? So that for me was always, that was honey. That was, and I would always want to be around that, even if I wasn't directly involved. I would always go to a Juice Plus function. I'd always go to a thing. I'd always, you know, just do whatever, because they were having fun and they were big-hearted. So, you know, so that was there. But, you know, lessons, you know, and I jotted a few down. I think that these things take a long time for many of us to sink in, and the earlier you can do it, I'd say that, you know, it's a combination of these sort of things. You know, we've heard, and it took a long time for me to understand what Linda meant when she said, get yourself out of your way. I'm like, righto, but that doesn't make sense to me, like, whatever. You know, and that sort of realization, it's tied in with your, you know, you it's not about the why, it's, you know, it's not about the how, it's about the why. And that whole thing used to just bug me, to just annoy me to tears. Like, rubbish. It is so not about the why. It is all about the how. Like, give me the list, I'll do the list. But stop talking about my bloody why. And over time, you realise that is the case. And my lesson there came from that, when your why comes from is the fuel to make your how doable. You won't have a conversation, whether it be tough, easy, falling in your lap with an old person or ever, unless you've got a why behind it. And I've thought this through, and I'll make it very simple for those listening to understand. Right now, I'm going through, got an event on Melbourne Saturday, right? And it would be easy for me to, I've organised it, yeah, that's easy, I'm good, I found a space, done this, got some team coming. It's pretty easy for me to just rely on some people to turn up to do that sort of thing. But there's also an added bit of like, oh my God, I better get some fresh faces there. It's on me. It's on me, right? So now I have a why. It's a very simple little one. It's a simple example, but that is a why, because I don't want to be embarrassed as the main leader there with not a room full of people and, I didn't get my stuff sorted. So how motivated have I been to get people in there? Well, I've met heaps of people. A lot of people that I hadn't thought of in years, because I've got a network in Melbourne, right? So it's a very small example of my why is high. My why is you want to have an event that's got people. You got to be there as the leader to show them how to do it. You don't want to be like, oh yeah, I guess no one turned up, and oh well. No way, my why is bigger. Now, my overall why is Juice Plus, but that's an example that your why will drive your actions.
That's a great one. Write that down.
Your why will drive your actions.
I love it. Love it.
Because Linda's coming to that event. Now, she's my upline NMD, but I don't want to be embarrassed and her look at me going, where are all the people? Who did you invite? And I go, well, not really anyone. That is not, like, I have a big why. So your why will drive your actions.
I love that. I really do love it. And I also love the humility around what you're sharing there, because you know what, it's so easy to get to a position. And for some that's SSC, Q, whatever the position is, feel that you have a team, put on the event and actually don't do the work to invite to the event. You feel that like your job is done by putting it on and
I've
being
got to
the,
cut my
you know,
front
the leader.
line. I've got
Yeah.
the
And it's kind of like,
space.
I've done my job. That's cool, kind of
I've
thing. But
organised the stories. Oh
yeah,
man.
that's it. Yeah, you know, you can kind of give yourself that pat in the back, but actually,
Yeah.
no. It's one of the things, and I remember just before Christmas, or no, just after Christmas, we had Jeff on a call, Jeff Roberti on a call, and he actually talked about the fact that, you know, you've got to be in production mode. You got to make sure that you're actually that person who is leading from the front and doing the do. So for whatever reason, but again, the why drives your actions. I love that. That is awesome. That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
So on the back of that, okay, so your why drives your actions. Now you got to be teachable. If you take an action, and it's consistently the wrong action, you're going to get poor results. So you got to be open. So even now, I'll go to Linda. You know, I'll be with Adam. I'll say, have a look at this message I sent. Would you have sent that? And I'll go, you know, and that I'm an NMD. I know how to speak to people, but I will still ask for that bit of help in the beginning and with your team. Like, hold their hand and make them hold yours. People, you know,
Yeah.
we want action, but then you got to be open to learning in that. And listen, if you're not, and you bolt out of the gates, and it's, you know, what's that thing? Ready, fire, aim. You know, some of the great leaders follow that process. Well, learn from your lessons and your actions. Learn from them. Don't keep doing the same thing and expecting better results. You know, that would be the next lesson I got from that why. Find your why in whatever action, in whatever space, whether that's going for an MD or getting a room full of people, or, you know, getting your partner on board to just give you the pat on the back as you walk out the back, not like the evil eye because you're leaving again. Well, in every moment there's a why. Find that, let it for your actions, then listen, learn, and get better at those actions.
Yeah, I love it. But also too, I think that primary thing there that you said was, you know, be teachable. You know, put the ego aside, and we all bring different stuff to the table. We've all, you know, had life prior to Juice Plus, and you know, for many, and just yourself included, you know, very successful life and careers and that, but being humble enough to be able to put that down and go, you know what, in this moment I'm a student, and I am going to learn from the people that have walked in this business on this path that have the results that I'd like, and that, so what can I do? And don't be afraid to test, measure, refine. And, you know, yes, we can make some mistakes along the way, but I love what you said too, was if you are, you know, not getting the results you want from the actions that you're consistently doing, maybe there's some tweaking or some teaching to happen there. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
All righty. Keep going, mate.
All right, mate. So, you know, I think that those sort of lessons apply to us whether we're 2 days in, 2 years in, right? You know, sort of a bigger picture one, and certainly around the NMD, you know, space, and along that time, you will, you know, this is a lesson, is engage with all your team. Don't think that, oh, that teamie that I've got, they're doing it their way and they're smashing it and they're, you know, cool, and they're a guy that's half my age or a girl that's twice my age, or they're a mum and I'm a guy and whatever. Like, don't let that, we are all equal, whether we're here. Reach out to everyone who's here. Because I personally saw in my team, you know, culture created. I thought, she'll be right. They're doing it their way, but under what level of direction? Under, you know, what, you know, guidance? You know, and you're the leader in there. And I had team. I'll be honest. I had team, and I had clubs that I lost, and I lost them. I didn't lose them. People, I guess, stopped doing JP, and there was a handful of reasons. One, they didn't really get it. Two, I sort of realised, gee, some of these people have bought some, you know, probably they got stuff sitting around their house and they're not taking it. Did they miss that call on why taking the product so expensive? And now they're not sure why. And all of these things can happen. You've got to be reaching down and in. and having combos with anyone. You know, that's so that you have a voice in there right through your organisation, and allow your upline to do that. There's no ownership in this, you know.
Yeah,
allow your upline to, you know, be there and be a voice and be part of it. You know, it's easy to think, oh wow, that team's on fire, they're smashing it, they've got a cool name and they've got their own page and they're buying this stuff and they're all qualifying, and wow, look at that go, I'll step back out and focus over here. No, that is the time you've got to dive deep and go in there. That is the time that you've got to be PMing all of those people. Hey, welcome, how are you? You know, I checked out your Facebook page. I can see you've got 2 kids. How coincidence? So do I. Whatever it is, you're forming relationships with everyone in there. That was a lesson. That is a real NMD lesson for me.
And I remember that lesson for you. I remember you kind of having that conversation and it kind of turning itself on its heel, and it was like, wow,
that's it. And hard to turn around conversations that are 6 months, 8 months, 12 months overdue.
Yeah. So one of the things there that, and I've just heard you say there as well, is, you know, don't go away, guys, from the welcome call. You know, if you've got your team, and I know sometimes we get all excited, we've got a bit of a team happening, and sometimes, you know, I think it happens too early where people break away, and that from their main team kind of thing. You know, stay there as long as you can, really and truly, because there's wisdom in what has gone before. So, you know, being part of that, don't try to break away too early. But even if you do, making sure that you are doing things like the welcome call. Are you welcoming somebody to your upline NMD? Even if you are an NMD, are you welcoming, you know, these new people and doing, if you've brought somebody on, are you reaching down and, like James just said, welcoming them to the team, sending a personal message, or just so that people are noticing what's going on, you know, that they're actually noticing that they're being noticed. I think it's so important, because again, we touched on it on a number of calls, but yesterday was again, we said about how culture is so important, about how it is so important to kind of have people to feel part of a community, and more people will stay in this business because they feel part of a community, they feel seen, than for anything else. And that's a great tip, James, because I know I remember having a conversation with you about how that happened in one of your legs, and I really encourage you guys to make sure that, you know, you are including your uplines in some of these conversations, because they're there to support and encourage you. They're not there to undermine you. So yeah, which is cool. Awesome.
Yeah, and you can obviously, you know, our reports, our end of month PVC, you know, it's the real case study on what's happened that month, which each person in your organisation. Have a look, get to know it, and you know, I think we all do that, and it's easy to do on the surface. Oh wow, they qualified again, great, but where's their qualification? Where's their points come from? Do they have any outstandings? How many declines might they have? Really think, and if we can see each of those people as individuals, we get a better read on where they're at, and you know, getting them through, you know, the first, you know, that 6 to 12 month period where, you know, a bit of the hype's come out of it, a bit of the life's gone back on, and maybe they didn't have a partner to support it. No, I'm starting to forget to take my product, and what was good in the first 6 months might start to wear off a little bit in that next 6 months. So being really conscious, diligent, and jumping on that, because that time frame, I think that's so critical, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
No, well, I think you gave us more than 3. You've hammered us. Well, that's awesome.
Well, I had one more.
Really cool.
I had
go
one
for
more
it.
there.
Go for it. We like a +1. It's good.
So that, and I guess that just fires in it. I mean, I wrote this, like, you got to play the long game, but know when to hustle. And if you don't, if it's all about this month and the hustle and all the rest, then you know, people are not going to respond to that long term. You know, conversations that happen over, you know, a long time. I've got a girl, I just got off the phone to her before this call. It's been 9 months we've been talking, and you know, I'm expecting, but it's her call whether she sends in the details for her first product order today. But that's a long game. It's 9 months. I can't rush. She's gorgeous. It's her thing, right? For me to be concerned about my end of month figures and put the heat on her to saying, hey, Louisa, I need your order. Like you said, you were going to get some, and because I need the points in terms of me to qualify, that's the wrong time, right? Know your hustle. Hustle early, right? Don't not hustle ever. I think that's part of our team, and some people will, be okay with that. You've got to hold some people's hands when it's time to, get some numbers. Hey, who do you know? What about our orders? Who can we get through? And I haven't gone through this with any of my SCs or SSCs that didn't have, the hustle month to get their numbers, to get their qualifiers, to do their thing. This is the month, right? And certainly I learned, those things through Linda, and certainly with my NMD, it was hustle month. But you can't hustle every month, and be very conscious of the long game and who you might go to for those sort of things.
It's just about having that vision and being prepared to build on relationship. You guys wouldn't be here if Lauren hadn't built on relationship with you. Lauren wouldn't be here if Jeff hadn't built on relationship with her, and so on and so forth. Adam and Kira were long game. Anthony and Kate were long game. We start to look at, really and truly, if there was an NMD there, wouldn't you actually invest in that relationship? It didn't make any difference how long it was going to be. The reality is that you would do it knowing that they're there. So in everybody's follow-up sheet at the moment, there's an NMD sitting there. You just got to be prepared to play the long game. Be prepared to actually invest in the relationship. So in there, be genuine about actually wanting it for them rather than, like you say, hustling it just for you. And I also love too where you say, yes, there is a time to hustle, and there most definitely is. There will be that, when you're just ready to kind of nearly cross that finish line and you might need that last little bit of hustle. That's cool. But again, you said hustle early, too. Not leaving everything till the last minute is something that it saves us all a few grey hairs, that's for sure. But I love that lesson, is being prepared to play the long game and invest into people and not, do it in their timing. And like I said, you're a perfect example. Really you saw that Linda kept going on with her business, kept having fun, kept doing all those things, and created a FOMO for you, so that in the end, you just wanted to be able to, join in and have fun right alongside her and the rest of the crew that were doing that. And that's what we've got to keep doing, is continuing to drip feed, continuing to love on people, continue to be in relationship with people, whether they've joined your business or not. And you just never know. Someday that just turns around and they go, you know what, I'm ready now. And it's really cool. James, thank you so much, my friend. Really, really appreciate you getting on, conquering the technology, and making it happen. I tell you, it's really good. And there was lots of wisdom there. So, guys, make sure that you watch the replay and you take down some notes from what James has shared today, and be prepared to play that long game. It's cool. Right. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone, jumping on.
Okay.
And thanks a lot.
God bless. Bye.
Bye, friend. Bye-bye.